Hello, welcome to the barn. Today I'm going to show you how I solved the case of the missing gas tank. Yep. Sure. And check. Roger. So as you can see, I have both saddle tanks, but the passenger one has been inactivated. It's got a emission band on there with a PVC cap on it. I don't know what condition the tank itself is in. I feel like as long as I'm going through some body work, I might as well have two working saddle tanks as long as they're both in there with all the additional hardware. So what I did is I found somebody parting out a square body Suburban, called him up, met him out in his boneyard, and I cut this bad boy out. I swear it opens. It's easier to do with two hands. I didn't get it as square as I would like. What else is new? Got a little bit of surface rust. But the other thing is, being a Suburban, it has the inner fender, which that fought me tooth and nail. So I got to figure out if I need that or if I'm going to have to cut that off. See how it goes to the existing pickup truck box. I think I'm going to remove that is what my plan might be. So if you look up inside my box of the driver's side where they decided to leave the fuel fill, you can see there's not the inside fender well, just the recess into the side of the box and the plastic I don't know, trim piece that mounts to the inside of it. So I'll have to source that along with the fill tube and the vent tube as well. I didn't want to buy a new $500 bedside just to get that fuel door, so that's why I waited around until I found somebody with something they were willing to part out with. Alright, so I got a T30 here that I'm going to try to remove these bolts, even though I think I need like a T37.5 to make this work. Using my tailgate as a workbench. Oh boy. I really wish they would have left the AstroTurf on the whole thing, because it would have been cush. Oh my, I'm going to break that screwdriver before I break the screw loose, I think. I'm going to have to get the impact. Uno. Oh yeah, never a doubt in my mind. So that's just that part. Other than get this back fender, you can tell it's all seam sealed together. I was going to pull off this bumper thinking that was part of it, but it's not. I think I might have to get a torch and kind of heat that up. Start prying on it a little bit. I am going to stick these screws back here. Either that or I'm just going to throw them in the trash because they're going to get lost one way or the other. Alright, so I got an assortment of tools. Got a torch. I got the seal puller, which I thought might be good to reach in there, try to pry up a little bit. Got Bob the hammer, I got a couple pry bars, chisel, and this goofy scraper that I've had for many moons. I think it's a good hardy blade on it, so I might be able to get in there and work it loose. So I think I'm going to start real lightly. Pick a corner. Oh, I'm for sure going to cut my wrist. Holy moly. All right, give a couple taps with Bob. Commence burning. Couple taps. You can't see because I'm off camera, but I'm wearing a respirator. Okay, So how do you guys get rid of your spot welds? Do you have a drill? Do you grind them? You do heat, torture, samurai sword, torch? What's your preferred method? Because I'm always up for improving. This beating and banging and heating and grinding is not the speediest procedure, I'm sure. All right, I'm gonna battle with this for a while. All right, so I got my piece cleaned up with the roll lock wheel on the die grinder. I then traced it out on the craft paper and taped it to it. And then what I did is I took my pencil, kind of traced the outline. You can feel through the paper where the outline of the gas door is. Because what I need to do is I need to cut this portion out of the existing box side in order to get this piece to sit in flush, so I can mark where this piece is actually going to get cut in on the existing box side. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so what I've done is I've used this body line as well as the front of the box on the driver's side as a reference for where the gas door cutout is. So because I didn't cut out my scrap piece of steel out of the side of the Suburban perfectly square or anything like that, I get to utilize these lines for the inside of the gas door, and I'll tape my stencil to it, cut out the gas door portion so I can lay my scrap piece over it and trace it accordingly. Well, well, looky what I found. I am not under the illusion that that gas tank is going to be perfect, or maybe even usable. But I want to cut this gas door in because I want to have one, and I want to get this truck sealed up so I can have it be stored outside or utilize it outside. I need to get it primed, at least haphazardly at this point. So that is the whole motive behind doing this at this moment. Alright, so now I'm just tracing the outline of this bad boy. Partially on the tape, apparently, and partially on the old lovely paint. 7 3/8, 7 3/8, 6 3/4. Dynamite. At least good enough for the girls we go out with. Let the debating begin. I think I'm actually going to use a flanging tool and flange around the outside of this and the bottom of this piece. I know there's a debate about butt welds or flange welds. What's better for rusting purposes? I think that's the route I'm going to go because of where this is. I want it to be smooth and I want it to look good long term, I guess, basically. I've had bad luck with some of these butt welds, especially in a used piece that I got here. I'm afraid that if I butt weld it nice and flat, it's not going to be smooth. I'm going to grind that basically down to almost nothing, and then it's going to rust out faster. So that's my reasoning behind it. I'm going to give it a shot. I'll monitor it, keep an eye on it, and I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go from there. Lap weld. Lap weld. Lapped metal. Lapped weld. Lapped weld. Oop. Probably shouldn't have shown you that one. All right, so let me explain some of the method of my madness, or at least my thinking of it. So I flanged the entire rim of the truck back, and then I flanged this piece back. So any water coming down the inside of the rail will lap over the top of this and run down, continue on, and then lap over and out the underside of the box. You gotta think like a dragon scale, or think like the water drop. So as everything goes into place, it should run down the inside. That's my thinking. So this way everything will be nice and flush, nice and thick. I can weld everything, grind it down, and shouldn't be an issue with having thin metal anywhere. And I can coat from the inside with some primer once I get everything done. So I think that'll help cure any future rusting. So there's my reasoning. You guys can roast me in the comments if you want, but that's how it's gonna go. Okay, I got my patch panel all cleaned up. I got it clamped into where it's gonna go. Got everything squared up to the lines exactly where it should be, oddly enough. Now I just got this tack weld spaced around the places. Why do you do that? I thought you guys would know. I don't know.
Got nothing?
Well, the word on the street is you're supposed to do that to alleviate heat and warpage in the body panel. So you want to weld it pretty cool, keep moving around. You can blow it with air and hopefully not have the warp and a lot less body filler needed after that. And just like that, all the spot welds come together and meet and turn into one full solid weld around. I probably have a little extra material on there that I need to, but now it's time to grind it off. Everything laid out quite nice. I do have a little dent right here that once I get the paint removed, I'll use the slide hammer and pull that out. And a little bit of filler will be great. So now it's just grinding time and can crushing time. Alright, so I remounted the gas door after I ground and touched up the welds and ground some more and touched up the welds again, and I think I ground one more time and then I touched up the welds again and ground one more time. That fits just as good as the other side, if not better. I do need to find, I did tear those darn stoppers out of it, so I gotta get some bumpers in there. But I think this turned out pretty dang snazzy. I'm excited. I gotta get the rest of the stuff ordered. The only downside is the rubber tube from the fill neck that goes to the gas tank is back ordered on a few sites. So I gotta find somewhere that has it in stock, or I guess just be patient. I've lived without it this long. This was the main thing I wanted to do. I wanted to get this kind of buttoned up so I can miss some primer on it to seal it up. But I think this is looking legitimate. Sorry about the background noise you may have heard earlier in the video. The gas air compressor I have outside is taking the place of the one that I currently have in the barn. That one's acting up on the, kind of on the fritz. I actually filmed a video of them kind of reviving the gas air compressor, but it was terrible. I left that on the cutting room floor, as they say. I'm not about making lousy videos for people to watch. I'm totally fine, with my moderately lousy ones that I've been posting. So here's how this finished up. I threw a couple coats of rattle can, dark bronze on it. The can that I have, apparently the nozzle was halfway clogged, because now it looks like I'm a huge fan of Tiger King. But, I'm going to sand all this down to bare metal once it comes time to do more body work. It's nothing that some high build primer can't take care of. I just wanted to get something on that bare metal, so that way I can park it outside and keep plugging away with the rest of the body panels and what other repairs I need to do. I know that I'm just stirring the pot a little bit on the lap weld versus butt welding of the patch panel, but this way makes sense for the reasons that I explained earlier. So tell me in the comments below what your guys' opinion are. At this point, I'll say thanks for watching.